About 3 months ago, I left my corporate job to become a stay-at-home mom. I started working for that company when I graduated college, so it was all I knew. I was busy. We worked very long hours, and I was just kind of used to that. Once I had my son, things became much more difficult. I was experiencing some extreme mom guilt, and we actually had my mother-in-law take care of him, which put me at ease that I didn't have to put him into daycare. Just personal preference, we didn't want him to go into daycare, so she took care of him, and that was lovely. At the time, I was working from home, but I still got to see him throughout the day, but I was working extremely long hours, and I felt so bad when I had to stay late, which was half of the time. I would take a short lunch break, and then dinner break I would take maybe a couple hours before I got back online and finished my work, and ended maybe like around 10 to 12 a.m. Soon after, I became pregnant with my second son. My second pregnancy was much more difficult. I was having to go into the doctor's office multiple times a week, and it just wasn't easy with my work schedule. There was also a lot of other things going on at the time, but it just became much more difficult. I felt like I was going to explode. I clearly remember being 37 and a half or 38 weeks pregnant, and I was working crazy hours. I would take my dinner break only to have to go back online, and I was working sometimes past 1 a.m. It was absolutely nuts. Thankfully, shortly after, I was able to go on maternity leave, and I told myself that I didn't want to go back to that job after I had my son. We finally decided to follow through with a big decision, and we sold our home. Now, me leaving the job was something that I had considered way beyond my last pregnancy. So my husband and I made the decision to sell our home and move back to my hometown with my mom. So that's exactly what we did. Right about the time that I was scheduled for my induction, we sold our home. It was a crazy period, to say the least, and a complete show. I went into my scheduled induction, I gave birth, and as soon as I was discharged, began this new stage living in my mom's house. I enjoyed my maternity leave. Once that was over, I put my 2 weeks in and left my job. Never thought that I would be moving into my mom's house with my husband and my 2 sons, but here I am. And honestly, it's been such a great decision. That's the story of how I left my corporate job to move in to my mom's house with my husband and 2 kids to become a stay-at-home mom.